We're back here on the program, The Platform, and I have as our guest on the program today our good friend, Mr. John Ferguson, who every time he tells me that he is having a rally in the alley and he wants to come on our program, it's never a problem. And Mr. Ferguson, developing a sense of community. A whole lot of Bahamians do not have this sense of community as you do. And you have done this because you have seen deterioration in our communities, and you wanted to do something. You want to help, and but you need some others to come along, to come on board with you to help. Isn't that right?
Of course. I always say the room for improvement is the biggest room in the world. And you know, I always implore those persons who have skills, who have academic knowledge, who has biblical depth, to launch out into deep and let down their nets. Because
for a draw.
For a draft. Mr. Jones, you know the hundreds of youngsters in every community, not only in Woods Alley and Baintown, all over this country. They're only waiting for that helping hand, that want to push them, to help them, to say, man, you're worth it. If you think I'm joking, drive around on a Sunday afternoon in our communities and tell me what you see. And tell me how much Sunday schools you see in operation.
You don't see them in operation.
But you drive through Woods Alley, you see no less than 100 youngsters in the courtyard sitting down in Sunday school, outside, not inside, outside, being taught, being disciplined, and being told the way forward and how they should live.
You know, Mr. Ferguson, sometimes I am criticized for being a little hard on the church. And when I say the church, I'm talking about the body of Christian believers, people who make up the congregation. I'm not talking about the religious leaders. I'm not talking about the pastors and priests. I'm talking about people like yourself who see a need and who is Christian and want to do something. And there are a whole lot of people who see societal decay. They see social decay, but they do nothing. They sit back and talking about the we-ness of we. They say, well, what is this country coming to? And they never ask themselves, well, what can I do? What am I doing? And I say to people all the time that I use Jones Communications as a vehicle to get the message out.
Indeed.
All right? So this is the little part that I play in addition to doing some other things.
Right.
But we all have a responsibility to do whatever we can to reach lost people. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you are right. You are perfectly right. And I like how you use the analogy of using whatever is available to you, like you said with Jones Communication. I always saw Sunday school as a vehicle to carry a message to and target a particular segment of our community. And it has, what I would call, evolved, and it has gone bigger than I expected. Because here, I mean, everybody always go to Sunday school, but little did I know that you can take a little community Sunday school, knit it together, and have with its tentacles so deep now in the community that you can't even retreat. You can't come back. You can't go back to your original dimension, the way it has stretched.
So you have hundreds of people who attend.
And let me tell you, when you see that Sunday school is in session, we know sometimes we run out of chairs.
Is that right?
We run out of chairs. Now, I won't talk about with the Sunday school rally that's coming up. If you don't get there in time, if you don't get, you're talking about the biggest Sunday school rally in the city of Nassau this Sunday coming. If you don't get there in time, if you don't get there, you're not going to get no parking space, or you're not going to get no seat. So that tells me there is a hunger for that kind of thing in our communities.
Yes.
So the same way it happens in that community, it can happen in every constituency. Can you imagine, Mr. Jones, for every constituency to have something like that going on at the same time? And the criminals will have to no one to rob because everybody to the Sunday school rallies. And like I always tell people, the chief celebrant of our Sunday school is Jesus Christ himself. That's who we present. Not me, it's nothing to do with me. Jesus Christ himself is the chief celebrant. And so that's what it is. And I say again, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the city of Nassau, we have a wonderful country. But those of us who know the way, who know and who can do better, we have to pull up our socks and do what we have to do. We can't wait for another generation. We got to save this generation. You know, just last Sunday, a youngster who was coming to our Sunday school from he was 1 in Pampas.
Yes.
He is now 18.
Wow.
No police record. Has a job making money over, I think he works on Paradise Island. And I mean, Mr. Jones, if only that one. I looked at him and I put my hands around. I said, man, you did well. He said, yes, I thank you. You know, it's because of the Sunday school which you all ingrained in me. Don't have no police record, never committed no crime. How's the job?
Mr. Ferguson, you know, the church has a powerful role to play in the community. And I was speaking with my colleagues the other day about non-communicable diseases.
Oh, yes.
Hypertension, diabetes, and all sorts of things. And the state and the amount of obesity that we have in our country today. And Mr. Ferguson, thousands of people have left us because of these non-communicable diseases. Okay? Every year, we have hundreds of people who die from non-communicable diseases. I break it down for people to things what you can't catch. Okay? And I wonder, sir, what is the church doing about it? Is the church really involved in teaching our people properly about diet, about exercise, about the things that matter, that can improve the quality of life for people while they are here? And there are a whole lot of people who preach about what is to be in the hereafter, but are not dealing with the issues in the here and now. Okay? The role of the church and the moralizing institution in the society in helping people to enjoy a good quality of life here. And that is why I said earlier on that our churches, they are failing. And they are failing miserably. And they are not focusing on the things that really do matter in the lives of people. Here we have in our country, on a yearly basis now, about 120 murders on average. It's about 10 per month. All right? And we are in January now, and it's about 7 or 8, and we are here recording this on the 21st. And we don't... And sometimes we take these things and we throw up our hands and we say, well, what is this country coming to? But what are you doing? How are you assisting John Ferguson with Sunday school rally in the alley? Why is your church not having Sunday school sessions on Sundays, morning and afternoon, or at least in the afternoon? Why? Where are the pastors? Where are the church leaders? Where are these people? And our country is going south morally. They are pointing south in terms of the direction and where the country is going, not north. Sometimes I am exasperated about it, and I'm very cynical about what is taking place in this country, because I see the evidence of social decay all over the Bahamas. And we wait for the politicians and we say, well, you know, what is the government doing? But what are you doing? What is the church doing? And you dress up every Sunday and you go to church.
Yes.
And after that, you go home until the next Sunday.
Yes.
And do absolutely nothing. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be asking you questions.
No, Mr. Jones, you made some very, very valid points. And facts are stubborn. You can't move them. You made some very valid points. And let me say, I know of a lot of churches, and I speak to what you said about these communicable, diseases that,
yes,
non-communicable.
Yes, the Seventh-day Adventist Church is doing a wonderful job in that regard.
Yeah, and then you have and then you have some other churches. They have walkathons. They have wellness programs. Yeah, quite a number of them. They would have, like on a Saturday morning, you would see them walking.
It's supposed to be an ongoing thing.
Well, it should be ongoing, but I guess they balance it. Say, well, the spiritual health is just as important as the physical health, and so I again, like I said, I know a lot of churches do it, but getting back to what you were saying about the direction and the moral decay, and the fact that that Sunday school institution, people you don't see them no more till the following Sunday, and that is basically because it goes back to what I said when we originally started. A lot of people, the priority. See, when something is a priority to you, when you get up in the morning, that's a priority. If something is not a priority, you tend to want to put that on the second or third burner, when in fact that should be on the front burner.
Mr. Ferguson, I'll put it to you, when people were a little poorer, when they had less resources, they had more time for Sunday school. When they were not mobile, and they were able to walk to the church, they had more time for the Sunday school. But because of the level of affluence that we have in the society, and the extent to which we have been so Americanized, we call it the Americanization of Bahamian society. That people are mobile now, they have cars, they have vehicles, and on Sunday afternoons, they forget about the church on Sunday school. The television set is ubiquitous. It's in every room of the house almost. And there was a time when many people didn't have television sets.
I agree.
And so for entertainment, the children went to Sunday school.
Yes.
But today, the children are home playing video games.
True.
And it's because of that level of affluence that we have in the society.
Well, I guess they're home because if the church is not open on Sunday afternoon, they have no other place to go.
And so the church, to many people, is not compelling. It's not compelling. And if you have something which is compelling, people, they will attend. Your Sunday school rally in the alley has become compelling.
Yes.
And so because it's compelling, you have a large crowd of people who come to your Sunday school rally in the alley. And so the church must now become more compelling, more relevant. And the church, in many instances, is becoming an irrelevancy to a whole lot of young people who, when you talk to them about churches, they ask you what you're saying. It's like in Western Europe, where churches are closing down, where churches have now become clubs, and churches have become stores, because the church in some portions of Western Europe has really become irrelevant.
But you see, in the Bahamas, a lot of young people, they look at the physical part and say, well, you see that church there? They're looking at a building,
Yeah.
They identify the church as a building.
Yes.
But the church is not a building.
Yes.
The church is people.
Right.
People who have been what we call blood washed.
Right.
And who have given their life to discipleship. And you mentioned, while I have this thought in my mind, can you imagine the same fervor. You know, Super Bowl Sunday is right around the corner. Can you imagine if that energy, that fervor that is put into Super Bowl Sunday is just given for one Sunday of the month for Sunday school? We'll turn New Providence upside down.
But you need more John Fergusons.
Well, there are plenty more there, but they probably scared to advance
You
themselves.
need more John Fergusons who are going to be in the community, garnering the support and teaching as you are, and making what you are doing compelling. And if it is, you see, Super Bowl is compelling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say if you, that same analogy,
Yes.
like the spirit of the early church.
Yes.
You see, we have deviated from that early church. We have to recapture the vision and the spirit of the early church. Those disciples, they ran with that gospel. They turned those little cities upside down. They were so compelling and so influential that even the shadow of some of those apostles, people were healed.
Yes.
You know, when people come in your presence, man, they got to feel something, and, you know,
Yes.
that's the way it is.
Yes.
And if you deviate from the original plan that God made, brother, you're on your own.
Let's take our final break on the program, and we're going to talk about the 14th annual rally in the alley, and who will be performing and all of that. We take this final break here. We'll come right back.